This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
Welcome to Breaking Points. Today I'm going to begin something that probably you have never heard presented in this way. I want you to grab your pad and pen, and I'd like you to draw a couple around that's been proved on the Password program. And I want them to hear this because Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. I'm going to be talking about today, should your church be incorporated? Now, you've heard pros and cons of this before, but I'm going to tell you why that your CDC, that you need to have a CDC, an EDC, maybe an FBO, and I'll get into those terms later with you. But mainly today I want to deal with, should your church be incorporated? I'm going to give you 7 points today, and I'm going to give you 7 points in a later program. Those points will run consecutively so that you'll be able to determine just exactly what to do. Grab your pad and pen. Glad you're with us today. Here we go. Should your church be incorporated? First of all, I want you to make a note of this. The government has experienced great difficulties in finding an operative definition for a church. At this point in time, the government has been quite careful not to appear to be interfering with religious belief and the practices of any church. Therefore, it's very difficult for the church to be defined by the IRS. But one thing that we can all agree on is that we believe that for protection of the board, protection of the members, your church should be incorporated. Let's examine a couple of points. Number one, 14 points, 7 today, 7 tomorrow. 1, you have to have a distinct legal existence for that church. Now, I don't know about you, but it's very important for your church to have all of the protections and all of the benefits that you are offered just like and afforded just like a business out there that's incorporated. There's no reason why that your church shouldn't be incorporated. It's just a matter of you understanding what's the best for your board's protection, what's the best for your members' protection. I'll tell you this, that if your church doesn't have B&O and E&O, it's very possible that they could wipe out your church as far as the board of directors, board of deacons, board of elders, and the pastor. The biggest problem with B&O and E&O is that it's very expensive. So point number 1 is a distinct legal existence. Point number 2, a recognized creed and form of worship. A recognized creed and form of worship. Most of you already have that. So you're going right along as if you are incorporated. Number 3, a definite and distinct ecclesiastical government. A definite and distinct ecclesiastical government. Ecclesiastical government. Very important in the makeup of an incorporation. Number 4, a formal code of doctrine and discipline. You have that. You have a form of doctrine and discipline in your bylaws, don't you? And we'll discuss the bylaws in a later session. But right now we're talking about one thing. Should your church be incorporated or should your church not be incorporated? You just got to determine which privilege you want. You've got to determine which protection you want. For anybody to stand out there right now and tell me that you don't want to be incorporated, this is what we get all the time because we've been doing this for 62 years. Here's what they say. Well, we don't want the government to know about us. Well, do you have a federal ID number? Do you have a post office box? Do you have a bank account? Well, the government already knows about you, and you need to be doing things right. If you're not doing things right, then you're doing things wrong, and you're going to go to jail. And it's about time that you get your house of worship in order. And I know that you want that, but a lot of you don't know how, when, and even where to start. So with that in mind, you have to have a formal code of doctrine and discipline. Number 5, a distinct religious history. A distinct religious history. You have that, don't you? And number 6, a membership not associated with any other church denomination. A membership that's not associated unless you're part of a group exemption. And number 7, a complete organization of ordained ministers ministering to their congregation. Now, if you've done all of that, guess what? You're halfway home because there's just 14 of these. There's 14 criteria that the IRS says that make up a church. This doesn't make up if you're incorporated. This makes up if you're a church. Now, you can be a church without being incorporated. That's not what we're talking about in this session. We're talking about, should you be incorporated? Why should anybody be incorporated? Why is any business incorporated? You know why? Because they want protection so that some outsider won't come in and sue the board, sue the members of the congregation, or even sue the pastor. So this is about protection. I've given you 7 criteria points out of 14. You've got to get the rest of these 14s. Michael Chitwood, I'll see you tomorrow.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.